how we wake up in the morning. So wouldn't it be nice if we could just wake up in the morning, every single morning, knowing that, everything, all financials are all sorted. So our money is all sorted, our health is all sorted. We wake up and we also feel really happy and joyful, feeling love for yourself and the world. And wouldn't it be nice to wake up and just have that vitality and energy, and our bodies are just functioning optimally as well as our brains. Now, the thing is unfortunately for most, life is not really like that. And for most people, they wake up every morning with absolute dread and they're questioning themselves. They wake up with a lot of self-doubt, anxiety, about what the future is going to hold, maybe things that they've been doing, maybe the day before, a week before, a month before, a year before, things are not actually working as quick as what they think that it should be. And maybe they wake up with lots of self-doubt and anxiety. So what's anxiety? Anxiety is really you have a thought and then you keep thinking it. And then, of course, it turns into anxiety, and then you start getting full body manifestations of that. So that could be heart palpitations, that could be sweating, that could be just you, I guess producing too much of the hormones, which are quite damaging, which is your cortisol, adrenaline, your histamine flooding through your body, and that's your anxiety. So that's when you worry, like overthink about one or two certain things. So unfortunately, people actually do wake up like that. They don't feel like their life is really sorted. They have lost their direction, they're stuck, or maybe they're just oscillating back and forth with what they're really wanting to manifest, and they're really just here in the present moment, and they have not been able to do that. And unfortunately, there's a lot of people out there. In fact, I was listening to a short documentary last night, and they said that 67% of Americans are not happy. So isn't that extraordinary? 67% of the population in America are not happy. And I can probably safely say that that's probably the same as Australia, that you're looking at 2/3 of people are just not happy. So why is it? So, unfortunately, people don't feel good about themselves and they don't feel sovereign. And what do I mean by that? It means that they lack love for themselves. They limit self-care. They don't maintain their body. They don't have respect for their body. They are not certain about their mind. And their spirit, which instead of saying spiritual, I say spirited. When you have children, they're running around and they're having fun. You can go watch children in the park. And I wouldn't say, hey, they're spiritual. I'd say, hey, they're really spirited. So unfortunately, most of us are not really like that. We don't wake up happy, which is actually really sad. And so, people are just not connected to themselves. And we know that we are connected to our 5 senses. So that's, hearing, seeing, touching, smell, visual. We can do all of that. That's our 5 senses that we're actually looking at. But what I'm going to talk a little bit about is your intuition, your inner knowing. And, most people, unfortunately, are just not aware of how powerful they are and how can they change, their circumstances. And so most work with their consciousness. And the consciousness is you watching me, and you're aware, maybe you're aware of where you're sitting, you're aware of, what you just had for breakfast, you're aware of what you've had for dinner, wherever you are in the world. You're just aware, and that's just consciously aware. So from that perspective, just being consciously aware is not enough for you to be able to tap into the other levels of consciousness to actually manifest. And manifest is a word that just is always played out. You hear it all the time, and sometimes it gets a little bit boring. But it's more like, okay, you've set these ideals and you've got these dreams. We could probably say dreams that we have, these images, and we work in our imagination, and we have certain things that we want to go towards. Now, unless we understand all the levels of consciousness, and I'm talking about our first level, which is you knowing what you're doing right now in your consciousness, you also then have your subconscious, which is another part of consciousness, and then you have your superconscious, and that's what we're really talking about today. Of course, beyond that, there is universal consciousness. There's a lot of things outside of the realms of that. So I'm going to talk a little bit more about how we get them all working together, how we get the consciousness, the subconscious working, and the superconscious working, so that you can actually move forward in your life. And that's really what I'm going to be talking about. And at the end, I'm going to be doing a recode, which is a very, very quick strategy that I teach people to do once they feel resistance in their life, when they're uncertain about making a particular decision, when they're a little bit stuck, or when they're oscillating between moving forward 10 steps towards what it is that they're wanting to create and then coming back. And it's actually this polarity. We're moving forward and then we get pulled back, and it becomes really frustrating when we're in that mode. So before I continue, I just want to say thank you for listening. For those that are on live, that are on the Zoom call, on Facebook, and also the ones that are going to be watching this replay, because I'm positive that there's going to be a lot of value that I can add to your life. And at any time, if you would like to reach out to me, please feel free that you can do that. You can always message me on Facebook. And just an added thing that I'm just going to say is that I have 2 positions this month that I can work with you one-on-one. I also have group, but I also do one-on-one, and I'm just going to put it out there that I have enough time to take on 2 new clients this month. So please reach out if you would like to, pop in a call and we can talk about that, how we can work together. So saying that, I'm going to continue. So it's true that we can manifest, because everything that you have manifested is there in your reality right now. So it's not like you're not great manifestors, because if you have a look at everything you have in your reality, you have actually created that. The relationships you have, the partner you have, the family that is there for you, the car you drive, the house you live in, the apartment, wherever it is, that's what, part of your reality, that's what you're seeing. So we can manifest, although people I've found that have worked a lot in personal development have really, really big goals and dreams. And it can be very frustrating. And people question, well, how long is it going to take? This is what I want to do. This is what I want to create. How come I can't have it next week? So this is what we're going to be talking about, how you can actually do that by bringing in all of the consciousnesses, with you. So for those that are new and you don't know me, my name is Jayne Bryson, and I'm part of this page. I created the Abundant Mind Community page, and I'm a registered practitioner, and I live here in Brisbane. I still work in clinical practice. And out of all the years, I'm actually going on to 2 decades of working in clinical practice, which is really, really amazing. When I have a look at the time, that all of a sudden time just goes by. So what I found when I was working with people is that many people came in with different physical elements, And I found that over a period of time, that 95% of those physical illnesses originated in the mind. And they originated from some sort of emotional event, traumatic event. It could even be like, dormant memories or shadow memories. It could be something from, generational all the way back. So we have like coded messages within ourselves, right? So we have coded. So as much as we maybe look like our father or our mother or brother and sister, the thing is that we also carry on DNA patterning emotionally. And so I would see 2 patients, exactly the same thing, presenting the same with the same physical illness, but both be on completely different diets. One could be on like a paleo diet, and one could be on vegan and just doing vegetarian, right? Organic. They could be doing that. And what I'd find is that the diet, the physical, what they were doing weren't that different. They were quite different, although their mindset was the same, and both would survive. And I worked out that it was really to do with the mindset. And I understood over a period of time that you can physically heal yourself. You can actually bring in and call in your soul relationship, your soul partner, your tribe. You can actually call in all these people to your life. You can manifest, and you can dream in, and you can bring in anything. It's really, really incredible. But it's also to understand our sovereignty, and our sovereignty is to do with primarily how we are in control of our thoughts and our feelings. And it needs to be totally connected. So we need to tap in to our own consciousness first. So that's our thinking, logical brain, consciously we hear. We need to also be able to tap into our subconscious, because in our subconscious mind, that is where all the programming is, and that's all our patterns, and that's where 90% of people are operating automatic in their subconscious mind. So you cannot get from your conscious mind to your subconscious mind and change any of that unless you have everything working together and it's all connected. It's just not going to be possible. So we all have challenges in our life. And I know that if I got on the phone to any one of you, I'm sure we could speak for a whole hour and talk about what we have been through in just this realm of consciousness, this life, because we all have challenges. And I've had lots of challenges, as so have you. And so my journey started decades ago with a failed marriage. And that's when I started to really delve into how all of this actually works, because I knew that I could manifest, but I didn't really understand how I was doing a lot of the manifesting. And I blamed myself for a lot of the things that actually I thought went wrong in my life. And so the thing is that before I go too much into that, I just wanted to say on this live, I am going to be explaining why people don't have what they want, why people are so controlled and programmed, and they're really set up for disaster and a life of misery. And no wonder 67% of people, and I would probably say, okay, well, I can say that's probably worldwide. That is huge. That is absolutely a huge amount of number that most people are not happy. And we can actually put our head in the sand and go, yeah, we're okay. And in Australia, we have this saying of, she'll be right, mate. That's what a lot of people say in Australia. She'll be right, mate. And what that means is, hey, I'm okay with what I'm doing. I'm not willing to change. Everything's going to be okay, but it won't, because unless you're in control of your thoughts and your feelings, and you have this connection with all of your consciousnesses, it's going to be very hard for you to break away from that patterning. And for those that have been working with me for quite some time, you know that I have the ability to be able to tap into all of the super consciousness, and also I understand and I teach you how to actually do that. And another word for that, and you can call it, is rewiring the brain. And I mix quantum physics with epigenetics and psychotherapy to help you tap into all of your superconscious powers, the whole thing. So your consciousness, blended, getting deeper into the subconscious, and then coming into the superconscious. And your own superconscious is hidden within you. And once you tap into that part of you, you can activate your own hidden geniuses and your sixth sense, which is your intuition. And once you learn how to actually do that, you'll be able to access more of your hidden ability to operate beyond the senses of any distance, any time, or any space. And all of that, we're not really taught. And I know in my schooling, I wasn't taught that. I just wasn't. And in fact, when I went through naturopathic school, a lot of it wasn't really taught there either. It was something that I learned way after that time. And I believe that, that's the number one reason why people feel like they are such a failure. And they have so much self-doubt, and they feel like they are never perfect. And if you feel like that, you can put that in the comments as well, because I know I have. I have absolutely felt that in my life. And there's also things like feeling significant. Do I really have something to actually share with the world? Do I have something? Am I significant? Do I have enough value to add? And many people try to be perfect, to be perfect, and that's just never going to happen. We're perfect, authentically perfect within ourselves. And there's others, there's other limiting beliefs like, that we're just not good enough. We're not good enough. We don't have anything to give. And of course, all of these feelings and emotions come from your past. And not only just your childhood experience and adulthood, but also other timelines. And so that's where, it's where it becomes very, very complicated. So I hope you're ready to hear what I have to say, although I've been talking for a little while already. But I believe that, everything in your life has significance. And there is nothing, absolutely nothing, that is put here by chance. Zero. And as you know, like mine started when I had my failed marriage, and I guess I blamed myself, for that happening. And that's when I started to, dig deeper, to look into all of the laws of the universe, not just the law of attraction, because the law of attraction is a particular law, but there's more and more laws around that. And so for myself, I traveled to over 63 countries, to gain more knowledge, to look for that awakening, to be enlightened. And that's how I started to put together my mastery program from all these amazing people that I've actually learnt from myself, and spent a lot of time just by myself to find out who I am and the power within myself to connect to all of the consciousnesses out there. And so originally I just flew to Sedona, Arizona, to do a lot of releasing work. I've flown to Hollywood, and I've worked with Christy Marie Sheldon. I became certified with Chris Duncan. I've listened to Abraham and Esther and Jerry Hicks for the past probably close to like 20 years now. It's a long time. I've studied with Joe Dispenza. I've read many books. Dr. Bruce Lipton, Dr. Caroline Leaf, a lot in, epigenetics. And these are great researchers in this field that we're actually in. And it goes way past just our cellular level, because we live in this morphogenic field of consciousness. And so I know with myself, and I'm sure with you, but my brain, people say to me, Jayne, what do you do? What do you love to do? What do you do in your spare time? Well, my brain seems to just attract different inspirational people around the world, right? And many years ago, it was probably around 6 years ago, I did the Tony Robbins program, all of the programs, flew to his resort in Fiji and did like a 5-day water detox, and did business programs and UPW and all of that, right? And all of it was really, when I was doing a lot of that work, it was under the premise that I needed fixing, that I didn't feel complete within myself, that I needed something more out there. There was someone else that could teach me something. There was a missing line or a missing paragraph, or there was missing something physically I was actually doing. So I had something missing and I didn't really know. But this is what I discovered. I discovered that it was the structure that we're actually living in, and that's what's broken. And most people are living in the problem-solving structure. So what they're focused on is everything that they're not good at and don't want in their life. And number two is that we have so much resistance when that actually happens. We have so much resistance. So when we're moving towards our desired reality, our dreams, our goals, everything, your whole action step notebook that you've written down, even your vision board, what happens is as we move towards our desired reality, we get ricocheted back like an elastic band, constantly back to our current reality. And we don't believe. We come up with all of these limiting beliefs, not only ours, but other people's beliefs that we have taken on in our life and other realms of consciousness that we have actually lived in. And then we become amazing oscillators. We just love to oscillate. We're going back and forth and back and forth. And that's the frustrating part. Why? Because we're filled with all of these limiting beliefs about ourselves. And they just keep popping up repeatedly. And so hence what happens is when we're trying to look at things consciously, we cannot change anything consciously. That's why vision boards don't work. That's why a lot of affirmations don't work. We have all these, conscious things written all over the place. But until we get deeper and we learn how to access the subconscious mind to change a lot of these habits, behaviors, beliefs, they're going to keep popping up all the time. They're just going to keep popping up. And so, I also realized that if we worked on our limiting beliefs, it would sometimes make the situation worse, because many beliefs we don't even know where they came from. So why work on our beliefs? If you remove all of the resistance, all of the beliefs are organically going to move away. And I realized and I discovered that being in the creative structure is where we needed to be. Laser focused on what we are wanting and imagining it. It's like we are it. We're actually being it right now, before the physical manifestations happen. And I also realized that going back into my past to try and figure out where I went wrong, what I did do and what I didn't do, whatever or whoever did to us at whatever age, is totally irrelevant. Because when we're in that creative structure, we learn quickly how to remove the resistance. And so then we start working, we start then tapping into all our consciousnesses. We tap into our superconscious, which is our genius. We tap into our own inner guidance system of our all-knowing part of ourselves. And then we tap into the higher consciousness. And if we want to, we can bring in the universal consciousness if we want to, because that is really, really powerful. But the first thing, though, is that we need to be consciously aware. So we need to be consciously aware first of what we're wanting. That's really, really important. And consciously aware of our thoughts and our feelings on a daily basis. And we need to not take things personally. Because if we really think about it, 50% of marriages end up in divorce. Most of the world is overweight. There's over 80% of the population with autoimmune disease. 50% of people are going to die of cancer. 1% of people are going to die of a virus. And most people are in debt. So we must not take everything personally. It is totally because we're living in a broken structure. We are born with love And we have created fear from within and from all of our external parts of this planet. And so what happens is we start believing, we start living in this broken structure. And if we want to move forward, yes, it's going to take time, it's going to take practice, because it's not going to happen overnight. That's why I work with people for at least 3 months to 12 months, because you can't learn how to be in a creative structure in a weekend, because that's still going to be in the broken structure. You can go to a retreat for a week, and you can go and do a short course for a week if you really want to. And it's going to be great when you do that. It's fantastic. But the moment when you come home, you're still living in that broken structure. And yes, there's going to be all of these other things that are going to just pop up in your life. And it's going to be even more frustrating for you. And so, yes, it's going to take a little bit of practice. And many people talk about, where we focus is where all our energy goes. And that's true, because we're creating all the time. We create everything in existence. So everything in existence in your world, you have actually created it. And the problem is how do we get into that creative structure and out of the problem-solving structure? How do we do that? How do we remove the resistance as much as we can so we can actually move forward with ease and flow and live in the path of least resistance? Because right now, it is an awesome time for people to be awakened and enlightened and have awareness, because planet Earth is moving very, very quickly right now. And a lot of people are talking about the different ascensions. And ascension really is moving in the path of least resistance and being in that 30% bracket of feeling happy and satisfied and grateful and thankful for where you are right now in your present life. And I understand that with the whole world, it may seem really chaotic. But once you're in the creative structure, you will find that you'll have so many more opportunities, and it's going to absolutely freak you out. It's going to freak you out, because as you're actually moving towards that dream life, all those changes are going to occur. And if you're not in that path of least resistance, you know what's going to happen? You're going to feel really confused. You're going to feel uncertain. It's going to be really hard for you to make a decision. And you're going to feel really uncomfortable. And if you have suffered from anxiety before, that's going to show its ugly head at this particular point. Because you see, the frequency needs to all line up. So there's nothing that's going to come into your life if your frequency is not paired to that. It's not. And this is why people keep attracting the same partner, attracting the same amount of money, because you're actually not in that path of least resistance, and you haven't got that awareness yet. You're not up to speed with the frequency that's actually coming. And it's something that I teach, and I use very, very simple techniques that allow you to achieve advanced brain states that are really the key to unlocking all of your superhuman potential. And it's learning to keep the power of your thoughts and your feelings from causing damage to your own life and the lives of other people. So after this live, I'm going to put my calendar link just below in the comments once it's downloaded. And you are welcome to book a 30-minute discovery call with me. I have 2 spots this month to work with you individually for 12 weeks, and then you continue group for 12 months. So I would highly recommend it. If any of this work that I have just been explaining to you and it resonates with you, then I would say book a time with me. And that's free. You can just book a time and we can chat about where you are, where you would like to go, and how we can work together. So I do one-on-one and I do groups. So I just wanted to let you know that before I do the recode. So right now I'm going to be doing the recode. So for those that don't know about this, this is an awesome technique. It is absolutely amazing, because what I do is I connect the consciousness with the subconscious, and I also bring in your consciousness to have a look and see, well, where is it that you're planning to go? Where are you now? And everything that you have processed on this call, would you believe it? It's all going to be removed. And you do have the ability to make small shifts or large shifts in your reality for what you are wanting in your life. You can actually do that. And it's really, really awesome. So, if there is any questions on the comments on Facebook, I'm just gonna have a quick look at that. So on my phone here and see if there's any comments, because I have not been able to get there right now. Maybe I'll have a look at it later because I do want to get this recode. Hi Simone. Hi Kylie. How you doing? So thank you for being on. This is great. And so what we're going to be doing is we are going to do a recode. Now, for those that don't know how to do a recode, that's all good. I'm going to explain it really, really simple. So step number one, and I'll write it actually on my little board here. Right, step number one is you've got to work out what is your desired reality. So what it is that you're actually wanting. So your desired reality, I'm just going to go really, really broad, say happiness, because I did mention that 67% of people in America, which I don't know how many millions of people you have in America, a couple hundred. So, you know, you have a lot of people there and, you know, you're looking at 2/3 and not happy. So maybe we can work on happiness. So desired reality is happy. Now, when you get going at this and when you start learning this on a bigger scale, then what happens is you can have a look at money. You can imagine money coming into your bank account. You can also have a look at your tribe that you're building, your business that you're building. You can look at your health. You can look at, you know, calling in your soul partner. Whatever it is, you can bring in whatever you want because you're designing. It's like your own movie. It's like your movie. That's your life. You're creating it. So for today, we can just do that, or you can choose whatever it is. So what we do is we bring up a picture in our mind. So with the recode, it will be a closed eye process. Right now, I'm just giving you the 5 steps of what we're going to do, and then I'm going to be doing the recode because it's important to get like a little bit of an idea how we do this. So number 1 is work out what it is that you would like to have. So we're just working on happiness right now, but as I said, it could be anything for you. So what you do with that, say happy, is you would imagine an image of you being happy. So that could be walking on the beach. So for me, when I walk on the beach, it's happy, like I feel happy. So that would be, for me, my image that I would bring up is the beach. Now, my feeling when I'm walking along the beach is going to be happy and maybe joyful, maybe peaceful. And I'm going to imagine everything physically about me walking along the beach. I will be able to hear the waves crashing on the sand. I might be able to look up and there could be a bird that's tweeting. I might look out into the ocean and see someone surfing. I could also maybe notice a dolphin. I could perhaps feel what it's like with my feet on the sand, you know, and maybe the sound of my feet going on the sand. So we want to be as detailed as possible in that desired reality. Okay, so that's number 2. Number 1. Number 2 is, how are you feeling now? Because remember, we don't want to suppress anything. We don't want to do that, because that there, number 1, is probably not how you're feeling right now, and that's perfectly okay, because remember, we're manifesting, we're building on that. So number 2 would be your current reality. So maybe in your current reality, you're feeling whatever it might be. So it could be that you feel despondent, or feel like you want to give up, or feel like you've had enough, or maybe you just feel sad. You just don't feel happy, right? So I'm just going to write here sad. Maybe you just don't feel sad. You might even just feel like neutral. Whatever it is for you, it's all good. So number 3, what we are going to do then is we're going to ask ourselves, what are the beliefs around how we're feeling and how we're thinking? So for you to be happy, what would someone have to believe about themselves to have that? So we're talking about beliefs, and this is what's going to happen in your mind. Okay, so that's what I'm going to ask you, right? The 4th one is what we're going to do is we're going to then tap in to the superconscious field, and that's when you give me permission to actually do that. So the beliefs, which the difference between those two are going to be between 1 out of 10. So the difference between how you're feeling and how you're feeling now, there's going to be a difference of like 1 out of 10. So we can do that as well. And number 4 is we're going to tap into the superconscious field of all knowing. So in your mind, you're going to actually give me permission to tap into your superconscious field. And then what happens is number 5, then we're going to come out and we're going to then just get grounded. And then when we get grounded, what happens is, because we don't have the resistance, because remember with the superconscious, we're going to be removing all of the resistance, then what's going to happen is then you're going to be able to take aligned action, because being happy and sad, there's going to be neutrality. You're not going to feel happy, you're not going to feel sad, you're just going to be feeling okay, right? So if you had money in the number 1, if you just had money going into your bank account, and then on number 2, your current reality is you don't have enough money in your bank account, well, there's going to be a disparity between that. And of course, what happens is that will stop you from moving towards that aligned action that you're actually taking here on step number 5. So unless we remove this, the difference between what you're wanting and where you are now, that's the resistance, unless we move that, there is no way you're going to be able to take aligned action towards what it is that you're wanting, because that's the resistance. That is why people join the gym and don't go, or they go for the first month. That's why when people say, yep, I'm going to go off sugar, wheat, dairy, I'm going to do a 5-day water fast, and on day 2 they give up. It's why sometimes people in relationships give up. It's sometimes, people write down lots of goals and it doesn't come to fruition, and then they give up. The reason being, and the number 1 reason, is because you have resistance in the way. That is the number 1 reason. And how do you find resistance on your own? Well, you can do lots of therapy, and you can go all the way back in time and try and figure out, why you have so much resistance. Or what you can do is you can blend the consciousness, the subconscious, the superconscious, and do a recode and rewire your mind. And then you will find that all of the consciousness are all going to be blending together. And I tell you what, it is the quickest way for you to be able to remove the resistance. And the best thing is you don't even have to do it yourself, because all I'm wanting you to do is close your eyes and stay with me for 10-15 minutes so we can remove it. And then once you're totally vulnerable, you're in there, you're actually doing it for yourself. And this is another problem, because people don't self-love and they don't give themselves self-care. And many people will come on this live here and they'll just tune off. They'll come on for 10 or 15 minutes and then they'll turn it off. Why? Self-care, self-love, resistance in the way, and they think they're too busy. Busy doing what? Because unless you're removing resistance, you're going to be bouncing from one personal development program to another until you work out that it's the structure that you're actually living in That's all it is, the problem-solving structure. And that if you learn how to get into the creative structure, learn how to remove the resistance as soon as you can, you are not going to want to buy into any other personal development program. You just not, because you know about being in that creative structure. You know if there's a hurdle and you come up to this barrier and you just think, oh my gosh, I feel resistance in the way, you're going to think to yourself, yeah, well, I know what that is, but I'm really certain I have clarity of where I want to go in my life. That's where I want to go. And I'm going to remove all the resistance. And so what you can do is you can come back to this page, and in the guide section, I reckon there's probably about 20 recodes that I've actually got in there that you can fast forward if you don't want to listen to me at the beginning, and just do a recode and keep removing it. And it will get you to a particular level. That's what it's going to do. So that's why I've created the Abundant Mind Mastery program, which is 12 months. And I also offer people to work with me for a 12-week period as well. But also they can get part of the group sessions as well, which means that you're going to be really immersing yourself into this work, because I do not believe you can correct everything in 1 week or even 1 month. It actually takes a good 3 months to 12 months to really get into the creative structure, remove the resistance, so you can actually live the life that you really want to live, where you're choosing to live the life you love. You're choosing to live in your true nature and purpose. You are choosing to be authentic. You are choosing to actually get paid for what you're worth, your value, and you're choosing to have health and vitality, and you're choosing whatever it is, but you are choosing what you want. But you cannot get there if you have all of this resistance, and you can feel it within yourself. You can feel the resistance. And if you don't remove the resistance, it's just going to keep popping up and popping up. It's going to pop up in different triggers. You know, there could be that there's something that I said on this live that has triggered you. Great, fantastic. That's resistance. And you don't have to go back and think, well, how come I got that resistance? You don't. You can just go, okay, oh, I've got resistance, because it's generally not the messenger. It's something that's triggered within you and your past. And it may not even be your part of your past in your life consciously now. It could be generational. It could be on a completely different timeline. Remember, we have trillions and trillions and trillions of cells, and our body is 70% water, and it all carries memory. And we have a lot of memories, but there's a lot of pain on memory. And so what we do is we want to remove the pain from the memory, which is your resistance. And once we do that, you can then move forward in your life. And is it easy? No, it is not easy. It's not easy. It's not. I'm not going to tell you, okay, well, do a few recodes and listen to me for a couple of weeks and it's all going to be really easy. No, it's simple, because what I teach is very simple. Be in the creative structure, remove the resistance, be clear on where you want to go, and rewire your brain. That's it. You don't even need to spend 2 or 3 hours in meditation. You don't need to do that. As long as you're in the creative structure, 90% of the time, you have clarity on exactly where it is that you're wanting and you're not stuck, but I help you with that if you are. And we stop the cycle of you moving back and forth and being that amazing oscillator that you've been for your whole life. Stop. It's like, stop. You know, it's like you're there, and you know, you're on this massive football field, and you've got all these gopher holes which have dug all the holes on the way to the field. And what happens is, as you're moving towards that, you keep tripping up and going down these holes, and that's all your resistance that, you know, you're feeling. It's just all the resistance. So let's do a recode. So make sure that you're hydrated, and you're good to go, because hydration is good, because remember we are 70% water, so make sure you're hydrated before you do the recode. And it is a closed eye process, and I'm going to be partly closing my eyes too. So if you want a quick 10-second break, you can just go off and have some water if you want. Then I'm going to be doing the recode. So you close your eyes and you just listen to my voice, and you really don't do very much. I'm just going to be guiding you all the way through, and it takes around maybe 10 minutes, maximum 15 minutes. That's basically it. So, all right, so have some water, if you like. And we're all good to go. We are all good to go. So exciting, all very exciting. So if you do want to reach out to me, you can, because after the recode, I usually say goodbye, send lots of blessings and love to you. And yeah, and that's it on the live, but we're just going to do a recode now. So let's close your eyes, and just, I usually hold like a crystal. You don't have to do that. The crystals have a lot of energy. I have many crystals on my desk here. It's always nice to have lots of crystals around, around you. And I've got like a salt lamp here, and I've got all these crystals like all over the place, actually, in my bedroom. And I have a lot of rose quartz in my clinic. It really helps with energy. It helps with electromagnetic radiation, EMFs. Rose quartz is really good for that. There's many different things. And when I do the recode, this is my favorite one. I really love it. And I hold that. So I highly recommend you start looking at lots of crystals. I just do. I just love crystals. Where I live is close to the Gold Coast, and there's actually a place down there. It's like a warehouse, and oh my gosh, there's so much energy. It's like you've got to walk in there and walk out fairly quickly, because there's so many gemstones and crystals and everything. And it's where I bought a lot of my big rose quartz, which I have around the place. I have them under my bed. I have them at the side of my bed, in my clinic and everything, rose quartz. It's really beautiful, but it's all wholesale. So you can go and you can just, spend a couple $100. You go in there with like $50 budget, and you come out and you just spent like $500, because you just look at these beautiful crystals and you just think, oh my gosh, I need those. So yeah, let's do the recode. So close your eyes. And first of all, I want you to just concentrate on your breath. So just breathe in through your nose, out through your nose. That's it. Just breathe in and breathe out. Beautiful. Breathe in and breathe out. That's it. And what I'd like you to do now is I'd like you to just step into your desired reality. Today we spoke about desired reality being happy. But whatever it is for you, it could be money flowing in your account, it could be your business, getting everything already set up. It's like you've been teleported into the future, and you're right there in that moment, and you have achieved it. So I'd like you now just to notice what you're doing, whether you're on your own, with people. Just notice where you are. And just remember to breathe in and breathe out, and just notice how you're feeling. Could be happy, feeling really confident, feeling good about yourself that you've achieved it, because there's nothing you need to do now. You're right there in that end result. You're right there in your future. You've already created it. You're right there. Just bring up whatever is in your mind, whatever creation you'd like to create. There's nothing really you have to do about it. You're just right there in that creation. That's it. Just breathe in and breathe out. Just feel the emotions. Perfect. That's it. Great. And now we've locked that in, that end result. Now what I'd like you to do is just step back into the current reality. And I'd like you to feel what it's like to be you now. In your current reality, how is life like now for you? And just breathe in and breathe out. What is life like for you now in this present moment? Just breathe in and breathe out. What is life like right now? And just notice how you're feeling. That's it. Just notice what it's like. And you're there by yourself in your mind, so it doesn't matter what you're thinking about. What is life like now? That's it. Just remember to breathe in and breathe out. You're doing really well. And on the third step, I want you now to just have a look at that desired reality, what you have created. You were there just a moment ago. And I'd like you to ask yourself, what would you need to believe about yourself to have that? Would it be feeling worthy? Feeling you'd have to feel successful? You have to be successful to have that? Maybe confident? What beliefs would you need to have that? That's it. Perfect. And now what I'd like you to do is just mark the difference between that end result and the current reality. So if there's a big difference between the two places you have been, it could be like 10 out of 10 in resistance, or it could be 8 out of 10 in resistance. Whatever it is for you, just mark the number in your mind so you have a benchmark. That's it. It could be 8. If you're listening to the replay, you can open your eyes and pop it in the comments if you like. If not, it's okay. Or you could just do #replay. And just remember that we're in a morphogenic field. So all energy is going to every single person that is doing this recode for now and in the future. So the more people listen to this recode, the more energy it's going to gain. And then just being in a morphogenic field, being in the same vibration, the same frequency. Okay. So close your eyes and just go back to your breath, breathing in and breathing out. And now what we're going to do is we're going to connect to the superconscious to remove all of the resistance. So now what we're going to do is we're going to connect our consciousness, our subconscious, and our superconscious together. And in your mind, I'd like you just to give me permission to tap into your superconscious field. So in your mind, just say to yourself, I give Jayne permission to tap into my superconscious field. That's it. And we know that the superconscious is going to be doing all of the work, and we are merely witnessing it all. And just by our intention of removing all of the resistance, it will be done. That's it. And just breathe in, and every time you breathe out through your nose, you're just releasing all of the resistance as you're going, just letting it go. And I like to call in the superconscious now of all knowing to go all the way back in time, all timelines, all realms of consciousness now and future. And have a look at the original belief that is stopping us from moving forward, that is causing and creating all of this resistance on all timelines, all realms of consciousness, generational, male and female now and future, in the perfect time, in the perfect order, do a massive change history. Everything is needed. That's it. Just breathe in and breathe out. And just feel the release coming all the way down through your body, just feeling the release. Yeah. And as we're just regenerating, renewing all of our cells, as we're calling in the superconscious just to remove all of the resistance. That's it. It's removing all of the resistance. I'd like you now just to imagine yourself being just covered in ice. And just imagine the full spectrum of light beaming all the way down through your crown, all the way down through your body. And just imagine the ice just flowing away. That's it, just flowing away, just melting, melting away, just melting away. That's it. And anything in the way of that happening, melting away, removing all of the resistance, clear and transmute across all time, dimension, space, and reality. Just moving all of that in. Yeah, that's it. And just imagine just the ice now all melting away. That's it. Just imagine a full spectrum of light coming in through your feet, radiating all the way through your body, just radiating all the way through your body, coming up through your feet, clearing all the chakras, all the meridians, renewing, regenerating, revitalizing every single cell in your body. Just imagine it, the full spectrum of light coming all the way through your feet and moving all the way through your knees. Just imagine the light coming all the way through your hips, through your heart, through your throat, all the way through your eyes, all the way up through your crown. Just bringing that full spectrum of light, releasing all of the resistance. That's it. And I'd like you now, just in your mind, to release all the sentence structures that are not serving you. Just release all of those beliefs that went through your mind, as when I asked you, what would someone have to believe stepping into that desired reality, that end result now? I'm just connecting now to the super conscious field, the high collective, the treatment team, just bringing it all in. Just breathe in and breathe out as you're just releasing all of the resistance now. That's it, just release it all as you're breathing out. You're breathing all of the resistance out of your body, every single cell. If you're feeling any pain within your body, just release it, feel into the pain and just release it all out. That's it, just breathe in and breathe out. We're just releasing all of the resistance. That's it. And super conscious, can you please have a look at the original event of the secondary intentions, to renounce all the contracts placed. Yeah, renounce all of the contracts placed in all realms of consciousness, all timelines, all family generations, female and male, now and future. Please do a massive change history, and everything is needed. Yeah, just let that settle for one moment. Just breathe in and breathe out as you're just removing all of the resistance. Bring the resistance all the way down to zero. And in your mind, I'd like you now, is to say these words in your mind. I am worthy. I am worthy. I am enough. I'm enough. I'm significant. I'm significant. I am worthy. I'm worthy. I am enough. I am perfect just the way that I am. I am capable. I have the capacity. Yeah, so just breathe it in and just breathe it out. And anything in the way of that, clear and transmute across all time, dimension, space, and reality. And just bring in the full spectrum of light all the way through from the crown chakra, moving all the way through your body, all the way down through your hips, down to Mother Earth. That's it. And before we ground all memories, 1, 2, and 3, the consciousness, the subconscious, the superconscious field, before we ground it, we're choosing a life we love, we're choosing health and vitality, choosing to live in our true nature and purpose, we're choosing to be a co-creator of our own life. And as we're grounding ourselves, I'd like to place everything back into the matrix of the universe. Grounding all memories, 1, 2, 3, tandem memories, shadow memories, quantum memories, back into the matrix of the universe. Tag all memories, future recodes. The portal is now open for you. Source of energy is flowing through your body. And I'd like you just to breathe in and out through your nose, and just letting go all of the resistance through your body. Shake your body out. Just breathe in, breathe out. Just shake your body and just put a huge smile on your face as you're just filling your body up with smiles and laughter and fun and joy and love and peace. And if there's anything in the way of that, just clear and transmute across all time, dimensions, space, and reality. That's it. Just breathe in and breathe out. Breathe in and breathe out. And we're back on planet Earth. And so what I'd like you to do is just feel into that, and work out what is your next aligned action. What do you need to do now as you've removed all of the resistance? What do you need to do now in your life towards what it is that you're wanting to create? That's all I ask. So take a big glass of water after this recode. Again, I just want to thank you for being on and also on the Zoom call. It's been amazing to have you here. And if you would like to reach out, please do so. After this is downloaded, I'm going to pop my Calendly link in there. And if you feel the urge to work with me, if this resonates with you, this work that we are doing together, then please reach out. And I'm very happy to have a quick chat with you and see how we can work together on this. So lots of blessings, lots of love. Keep breathing in, breathing out, and have an amazing day. Bye for now.